Okay. Okay, so we did till this point last time, right? Before method, after method, test. So we kind of created two tests. One was to check whether URL is working. Second was to check whether parabank login is happening, right? And everywhere we used find elements, right? We also added some assertions actually, right? Today what we'll do is we'll not use this. Why? The primary reason to not use this is here we are putting the locators as well as test script in a single file. This is a problem. Okay. While let's say we are writing a new test case, the new test case is validate parabank login. Sorry, new test case is let's say third test case wherein you need to go and automate a new functionality, right? So I can write a test by something like this. I can write public void test03 validate parabank transfer funds or something, right? Now, if I want to do this and if I want to make this reusable or modular, independent of each other, then I would have to again log in inside this, right? This is one of the example. The point is these locators should not be part of your script. We need to keep it somewhere else. That somewhere else part is called as object repository. Okay, a place where we will not write this in a single file, or we will move this from here and place it in a separate file. That file is called as page object model. Okay, so today we are going to create a page object model file, and there we will not use this. Okay, I think Ketan, you already have seen it earlier, right? So what we'll do is inside this PO package represents page objects. The idea of page object is if I'm on this page, I'm going to create a Java file for this page, and all the object which is coming inside this page will be part of that Java file. So each Java file will represent a page object model. Okay, so this is a login page, right? And I need to keep these objects somewhere. So I'm going to create a page object model file called as new class. I'll give it a name as PO. It's just my nomenclature. You can choose to give any name. I just give my class names using this PO, TC, something like that. So PO page represents page object. Then I'm going to write here login, right? And I'm going to add a constructor inside this, right? So this page object file has few features, right? Or you can say some level of sections. Okay. On top of it, you need to define a web driver. Web driver drive. Import. Second section is you need to create a parametrized constructor. I'm going to write here web driver drive. Third step is this dot driver means this should be equal to this. So whatever I am passing here as a driver I am passing in the constructor, I should assign it to this. So I am keeping this as local. Okay. What is the third? What is the third? What is the third step? So third section is, what is the third section? URL. No. Locators. So idea is instead of writing these lines here, I'm going to keep these lines here, but not like this. I need to change the format of this. How? I'm going to use some annotations given to us by Selenium itself. Annotation is called as find by. Okay. Inside find by, bracket open, right? And I'm going to write how is equal to how dot. So here, whatever you're getting here, if I'm doing this dot, rather if I go here and click on dot, I get this list, right? So class name, CS selector, ID, link text name, partial link text tag name. These are different ways of identifying the object or locator, right? So I need to have a name here, right? What I'll do is, that is what I'm going to write. So how dot name, comma, using is equal to, what is the value? Password. Okay. This will return me a web element, text box, password. See, this line is exactly what I am trying to write here, but in different format. Here it is returning a web element, here it is returning a web element. Is a driver, so I have defined here. Find element is replaced by find by. Here it was by name actually, right? This name is replaced by how dot name. This value is replaced by using password. So it's exactly the same line, just written in a different manner. Okay, that is how you create a page object model file. So this is the first step for it. You need to find WebDriver driver. Second, page object, constructor, parameterized constructor. Third section is your locators. And now you need to define all the locators present inside this page. In this page, how many locators are there? Many. There are many locators inside this. What you need is only this, this, and this. Only three. So you are going to add only three. In future, if you want to add or work upon this link or this link, then this is the page you're going to add that. Okay. Idea is simple. Every page in an application represents a Java class in a frame. That's how page object model is. It should not happen that the object is present inside login and you're adding that object in some other page, representing some other page of the application. It should not happen. It would still work, but the whole purpose of having a page object model will be lost. Okay? Got it? Now I'm going to add. So we had username, password, and then XPath of the submit button, right? So we need to add these three lines here. I'm going to copy it just for the reference. So username is what I'm going to add here. Username. So these two are done. Now this one. How dot, this is XPath, right? So here I'm going to select the XPath. Then add here button submit, right? You can also do something like this. Okay. Now your page of object model file's third section is completed. So this was the first section. This could be a valid interview question asking, tell me how a page object model file is created, right? So you need to tell him or tell the interviewer in some sequence. Like first section will be, you need to define the web driver. Second section is parametrize constructor is what you need to create. Third is locators. Now there is fourth section as well. Now the fourth section is methods. Okay. The idea is that all of these elements are private entities. You cannot go and make object or you cannot access this outside of this class. All are private. Private means you cannot, if you create an object of this class, you will not be able to access this. When you see it, when you create an object and you click on dot, this will not be listed here. So that means you cannot access it outside. If you want to perform an operation on textbooks.username, what operation will you perform? Send keys. You cannot perform send keys directly on this object. That is again a mandate of a page object model file. Now, since you cannot directly do it, you need to have an agent of some sort, right? Agent means in the form of a method, and when you call that method, it will perform the operation on the element. So based on each locators, you're going to create a method which would perform operations on it. Okay, how? So I want to perform operation on this text box username. What kind of operation I would perform? Send keys, right? So I can start writing like this, public, but this will be public or enter username, right? String text, sorry, void. And inside this, I'm going to write this dot send keys text. What I'm doing here is I'm going to call this, and I'm going to pass the text based on what I've passed and what method I've called. It will perform the operation. Okay. Same is true with password. Enter password. Right. Same is public void. Click submit button. And this is how I'm going to dot save. Not here. Dot save. Right. Now my page object model file is completed. Right. So this file is completed. Now I need to perform operations using this. So now for this validate parabank login, I'm not going to use these statements. I'm not going to use these statements, right? Instead of writing this, let me create a separate test. That test I'm going to call test03 validate parabank login page object. This is only for reference. It's not that you will do this and you will do this. No, you will have to remove this. You will remove this later on. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll not write this. Instead of this, what we'll do is, or let me remove it. We're going to create a page object, or we will initialize the page object for login, right? How to initialize an object? So we now have a class. We want to create object of this. Can you tell me how to initialize the object? Class name. Object. New. Close. Right? It will give me some error. What error it's giving me? Asking me to import it. Right? Then there's another error. What error it's giving me? It's saying add argument to match PO login web driver. So idea is inside this, I have only one constructor. That constructor accepts a driver, right? So this will give me an error. It will say it requires a web driver. So if I pass the web driver here, the problem will be solved, right? So if I do object dot enter username, and I pass here John. Object dot enter password. I'll give me demo. And object dot click submit button, right? So I will not need these many lines, removed. So this test case which I have created is better than this test case, right? Right? But this is not the right way to initialize the object. But this object file which I have created here, it's a page object model file using page factory. Now I want to use a page factory which is nothing more than a simple implementation of how a page object model file can be initialized using Selenium. So Selenium provides a inbuilt functionality called as page factory to initialize the object. Okay. Now you know how to initialize the object now. That's how you do it. But we will not use it. We will use different implementation of initializing the object using page factory. Okay, so what we'll write? We'll write page factory dot init elements driver comma dot class. So nothing changed. Everything remains the same. Only thing is, instead of initializing the page object using new page object bracket, you're going to write this. As soon as you do this, it will initialize the object. It will have the same effect. So it will be an object. You can call the method inside this object. Right? Shall we do it? Right. So what I'll do now is I'm going to remove this. Let's say I'm removing this because we don't need this. Rather, I'll comment this. I'm going to rename it as page object login. All right. Now, if I try running this, let's see if I go and run this. Run as just ng test. And then there were 2 test cases inside this, right? This was login test case. Enter John password, click on login. It's working fine. Right? This was test case number 3. Another I'll mark it as 2 now. Okay, fair enough. Page of object model file concept clear. Right? It's that simple. Okay. Now let's go inside. So now we have John demo login. Now we have another pages. Now we want to perform operations on. Let's take a simple example of transfer funds. Okay. Let's say you want to transfer funds. Let me create a file for it. Okay. Now this transfer funds and all these pages comes where they come in all the pages. So this is a transfer funds page. If I go to accounts overview, they are coming, right? So you cannot add them in all the pages, right? So what I'll do is instead of adding them in all the pages, I'm going to create a common page object model file called as PO common. Okay. So let me do this. I'll go here, right click, new class, PO common, finish, and inside that I'm going to copy few lines. And here I'll add this transfer funds, right? So spec this is the link having this text transfer funds. So what I can select here is dot link text. Here I can write transfer funds. Transfer funds. Okay. Getting it? Now I can create a method called as public void click on transfer funds. I can call this right click. All right. So now all these links, if anyone wishes to perform any operation on these links or any common objects, it has to be part of PO underscore common. Okay. Okay. Right. So right now I only bother about transfer funds, so I'm only adding this. But if you want to add more, you can add more in this file. Now I am willing to perform an operation using transfer funds, right? So what I want is, I want to put some amount here, select these values from here, and click on transfer. Right now I'm on which page? Transfer funds page. This is a transfer fund page. That means I need to create another page object model file for transfer funds, and I need to add these objects there, right? How to do that? Let's create it. I'm going to copy paste to write transfer funds, right? And the basic model will remain same. Now I'll add objects. What are the objects which I'm going to add? 1, 2, 3, 4 objects, right? So let's start with this. What is the value of this? Amount. ID is amount, right? So I'm going to add ID, amount, text box, amount. Okay. Next is list. ID is from account ID. Again ID, right? ID is from account ID. So ID is from account ID. Then list from account, right? Or you can say what? यहाँ पे you can give Akash as well. It's a variable name, right? So variable name is, you have to get such a variable name so that it makes sense to you, right? So drop down from account. Then to account ID, isn't it? Let me copy. To account ID. Right? Then transfer. It's a button. Submit value as transfer. Right? So there are multiple ways I can write it. Okay. Now here I don't have ID, I don't have name. All I have is button, which might not be unique. Right? So I'm going to write the XPath. XPath can be copied. Right click, copy XPath. Right? But that's not the right way to find out XPath. We need to know how to write an XPath. We'll try writing one. Okay. Let me create these values first. Okay. So I'll press Ctrl F here. I'll write double slash. Double slash means find it anywhere in the document. Find it anywhere. Then I'm going to write the tag name. What is the tag name here? Input. I'm going to write input. Then the bracket opens, square brackets. These are called as square brackets, right? So in the square bracket is also called as predicate, where you can put some conditions, right? What is the condition which I can put here? I can put submit class and value. Value makes more sense, right? Now value is what is value? Value is an attribute of this element. So this is type is attribute value is submit. Class is attribute value is button. Value is attribute value is transfer. Something like if this were Akash, let's say this represents me, then these are my properties. Like this is my height, is this, weight is this, my DNA is this, like something which can uniquely identify me, right? Same is true with this. This is value. How to represent the value inside a predicate? Using @ value is equal to transfer, right? And I'm getting 1 out of 1. I should always get this. Why? If this is not unique, I'm getting 1 of 2. Now, if there 2 is coming, 3 is coming, that means it's not unique. That means Selenium will not be able to find it. Okay? I'll copy this. This is my XPath. this is my X path, right? So I'm going to put X path. This is my button sum, right? So my all the locators are here. Now start setting these locators. How? Public void. First of all, enter text in amount. Okay. So right here is string text. Right here what? Text box dot send keys text. Cool. Then second is list. Now this is little bit tricky. It's not straightforward. Why? Because this selection of items in this list are two operations. One, you need to click on it, then you need to find the element, and then you need to click on it. Two-step process, right? Now Selenium has made it easy. Now whatever element which has been implemented using select, Selenium has a separate class for it to select value out of it. Okay? How we do that? So we are going to get a method called as select account from. Okay? Inside this, we're going to write a select class list is equal to new select, and inside this, we're going to pass this element. Yes, this is an object. It's a class given to you by Selenium. Which class? I just imported this one. Okay. If you want to select a value from a drop down, and second condition is it should be implemented using select tag. Only then you can use this. Now there are many drop downs which you might see which are not implemented using this select. They still gives you a feeling of a list, but there's no select tag there. Then you cannot use this. Then you need to apply some different logic to find it out. Got it? Then when you do list dot, you get lot of options to select the values. Three main options are select by index, select by value, select by visible text. Okay? Right. Select by index is if you want to select the values based on index. So first value will be 0, second will be 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Select by value is if you want to select the value based on this value. Okay. So every option which you see here is represented by option tag, and each option will have multiple attributes. One attribute is value. This is text. So you want to select by visible text, then it will select by this text. By value, it will select by this value. In this case, it is the same value. What is coming here is what is coming here, but in few cases it's different. Probably what is displayed is different, and what it corresponds to is different. Right? So you need to decide based on what. It's always good to select by visible text because that's what user sees. Right? You can write dot select by visible text, and here you can enter the value text select by visible text. Right? Fair enough? Now same is true for account, right? So that is also a list. Right? Done. Click on sum. Or click on transfer funds. Button submit. Done. 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 Now I can start making use of it. Where I'll go to test case. This was my second test case, but now what I want is to transfer funds as well. Right? So what I'll do is I have two ways to implement this. I can write public void test03 transfer funds, right? I can mark this as @text. I can write here. Now, if I want to make this test standalone, that means it will not depend on any of the test case. In that case, I need to invoke the URL, enter the username, password, and then do the transfer fund operation, right? Second option is this URL navigation is happening here. Login is happening here. So I have to call the same method again, right? So there are different approaches. Both the approaches are right. There's nothing wrong about it. Okay. Right now, the approach which I'm going to take is sequence. So first, what I want is this test case should be executed, which is URL navigation. Then login will happen. Then transfer funds will happen. That is what I want now. Okay. So I need to make some changes. What? So in the before method, driver will be invoked. In this test, driver will be navigated. Now in this test case, I don't need this to actually navigate the driver again, because the driver has already been navigated here, and I'm using the same driver. I'm using the same driver which is defined at the top, right? What I'll do? What should I do? No, I'll just remove this now, right? I'll remove this. Now what will happen? After this test case is executed, I'll execute this test case. So first, validate URL is working by my first test case. Validate Parabank login is working, second test case. So this, after this, it will immediately continue with the login, right? So don't have to rewrite again. Same thing. Now login is successful. Now I want to transfer funds, right? What should I do? I can create a common object. Is equal to page factory dot init elements driver PO common dot class. Huh? Right. How do you create an object? You create object using like this common. Make the class name. Write the class name. You write object is equal to new PO common. That's how you create object. I'm not using this new operator to create objects. Now in Java, there are multiple ways you can create an object actually, right? This is a way provided to you by Selenium using page factory init elements. When you call this, it will automatically internally will create the object for you. So you don't have to call new PO common, right? So I'll remove this, and this will give me the object. Once you have received the object, you can call its methods, right? Common dot PO common, click on transfer funds. Dot click on transfer funds, right? Transfer funds create. Okay. Then transfer funds click. Then transfer funds operation. What is transfer operation? Using PO transfer, isn't it? PO transfer funds. Object transfer funds is equal to same way I will have to do this. Right? I can call the methods dot enter text in amount, which I want to enter $100. Then same object again. Dot select account from. So I need to enter what amount account. So I will write 12456. 12456. Then select account 2. On to select 12900. Right? Then what I want to do? I want to click on transfer transfer. Right? But these are just operations. I need to validate also that transfer has been made. Right? Let's see how that can be done. I'll write here 100. Transfer funds. Right? So I need to validate whether transfer funds message is coming or not. Now this is coming or not, I need to validate that. Right? How can I put the validation? I can put the validations in multiple ways basically. So either I can use this show result to fetch the text out of it and validate whether this is coming or not. Okay? So let me do a simple assert statement. Now I can write the asserts here directly, or I can also put this inside page of the transfer. So I will put inside here. I'll write public void validate transfer funds is successful. Right? All right. I can also write here two more strings. String from account, string to account, string amount. Okay. What should I write here? I will first add this object, show result. Okay. I can add multiple also. I can add this object, or I can add only this object or this object. But I'll choose to do what? I will only add this object. What is the XPath for this? Can you tell me what the XPath for this would be? /div @ID was not there. It was ng-if. ng-if is equal to show this. Got it? Only one is there. I'll copy this. Go back. Come here. I'll add. Where? Here? Drop down means? So this is unique, no? We need to find the unique element. Okay. This is the unique element right now. Why I am selecting this? Because I want to get hold of everything. So I have two options. Either I will add these independently. So I'll add 100 alag se add karo. Then this add this from separately, add this separately. Right? It will be difficult. What I've tried to do is I added the parent of all of them. And then I will do string operations to fetch the value out of it, validate whether my account information, amount information is present there or not. That's what I'm planning to do. So I've added the parent. This is one of the strategy by which you can do. You could have also added these elements directly and put an assert there. But right now I'm choosing to add this. It's more efficient because I only need to add one and I can validate all of them. Right? I'll write here perhaps some text or div text transfer success message. Okay, I'll go down. I'll write here string actual message content is equal to this dot get text. Now this will give me the complete text of the message which I am getting. Okay, what is this? This is my web element. If you want to get something out of web element, you need to place a dot there, and then you will fetch information. So get attribute, get chase value, get tag name, get text, right? All of these are methods. I need text, so I'm going to do text. If I need, let's say I want to get class, then I would have written get attribute class. Right? So it would have given me ng-scope. In this case, I don't need this. I need complete text of. When I say complete text, it will not give me H1P span. It will give me transfer funds, 100. Right? These are text of the text. It will only give me this. Then I'm going to put some asserts. How? Again, multiple ways to put it. I want to check whether the account, to account, and amount is displayed there or not. Then I also need to check whether transfer complete message is coming or not. Right? How will I do this? I can write in a very simple example. I can simply write if conditions. Okay, so I'll write if actual message content dot equals, if this equals transfer complete, right? Then assert dot assert true transfer funds messages coming, right? Then I can also put the else condition. If it is not there, then assert false. One message is not coming, right? Right? And same thing I can try with all the values. Where? How? So this was for transfer funds message. No, sorry, transfer complete. Transfer complete message. This is for from account. From account. So I'm going to check whether in this message from account is coming or not. Right? If it is coming, then from account is correctly displayed. Simple, right? Same thing I can try for to account. That to account, and this to account. Huh? Right? To account. And then at last, amount. What is amount? This is the amount. I can write here amount. Amount is correctly displayed. Right? Right? What I'll do, I'll go here and in the assert or validation section, validation, I can call the method transfer funds dot validate transfer funds. Now it will require from account, to account, and amount, right? So what I'll do in the top, I will define it. String from account is equal to, this was my from account, right? See, I'm making my test case cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, right? Removing hard-coded values, removing reusable code, boilerplate code. I'm making changes continuously. I'm refactoring it continuously. So don't aim for writing the perfect code in the single attempt. It always for everyone, it's always a refactor efforts. Okay. Right? Whatever I'm setting there, I'm going to put it here. So this, whatever I set here, will be passed here as well. Whatever I'm setting here will be passed here as well. Right? Getting what I'm trying to do? String amount is, let's say, $100. I'm going to write amount here as well. Amount. My test case is cleaner now. Right? Now, last thing in this is, how do you make sure that these test cases run in sequence? Now, there is no guarantee actually. In TestNG, there is no guarantee that whether this will run first or whether this will run first. So you need to put a guarantee there. You need to make sure that this will run first, then this will run second, and after that only this will run. Right? So there are multiple methods, multiple ways in TestNG by which you can try doing that. One way is by assigning priorities. By the way, second important thing, after method we need to remove, because when this test case is executed, we don't have to quit it. We should not quit it, right? We can quit it, but we should not, because this test case state is being used by this test case. So if you quit it, it will again open and ask for login, right? So we don't want to do that. So we will remove this after method. We don't want to quit. We want to quit it after class, perhaps, when everything is executed. So I'm going to put here after class. Secondly, execute when, right? Because right. Now this will break. Once this executes, after method will. This was after method previously, right? This will execute. It will close it. If it's closing it, it will not find anything. Driver will be null, right? So we cannot afford to do that. So I am putting here as after class. That is, once all the methods in this class gets executed, only then quit the driver. Okay? Rename this as after class. This is before method. Now, before method also we don't need again and again. Why? We don't need to invoke this, because same driver is being used everywhere. We need to invoke this only once per class. So I'm going to write here before class. Getting it? So previously we were using before class. Okay. So before class. So we need this once per class. Once this is opened, then this test case will start executing. And since there are no before method or after method, it will run in sequence. Okay, it will not run in sequence, but now we have removed that closing and opening for each test. Only once it will open, only once it will close after each test case. But we need, still there's a problem. Problem is, how will we make sure that they run in sequence? How to make sure that they run in sequence? And there are two ways to do it. One is you assign priorities. So I say priority. So this is the test annotation. Now this test accepts some arguments as well. So you can actually understand this as a function or a method which accepts some arguments as well. So now how to give arguments? Now this is a method how to give arguments. You put in something inside this, right? Same way I add a bracket and write priority priority is equal to 1. That means I want this to run first. Then priority is equal to second. It will run second. then priority priority 3. It will run third. This is how I can make or ask TestNG to run this test case first, then this test case, and then this test case. Okay. By the way, there is one more concept. For example, if I do this like this, -2, -1, and 0, what will happen? Same thing. Always -1 will run first. No, sorry, -2 will run first, then -1, then 0. What I'm trying to explain is it accepts negative values and it accepts the same order. Okay, let's not do that. It's stupid. So I'll write here 1. It's minus values are only used that you have set all the priorities, and now you are having a test case which you want to be called the first. Now you cannot change all the priorities again. Then you can put minus values on top of it. That's the only reason they allow -2. This is 3. Okay. Now there another way called as dependency, right? So you can put a comma. Okay, comma means you can add another argument. So this is one set of arguments. You can add another argument. Another argument is depends on method is equal to bracket. So this is my first test case. Is it depends on any method? No. So I will not use this here. Is this method depends on another method? Yes, it depends on this method. So I'm going to call this and put it here. Okay. Is this method depends on any other method? Is this method depends on another method? Yes, this method, right? So I'm going to call this. So either you can use priority, or you can use this, or you can use both. That's how you can ensure that this will never get executed if this is not executed. This will never get executed if this is not executed. Getting it? So this dependency has been cascaded. This will not execute until this will not execute. This will not execute until this will not execute. So now you can ensure that it runs in sequence, right? Can we try running it? So it will fail now. Why? Tell me why it would fail. Okay. So what is the problem? Tell me the problem. It is failing. It has failed. It's saying 3 tests run, failed 1. 1 got failed. Can we see the reason? Let's go. Let's see the reason. So I'll go here. Inside index. Open with web browser. Transfer fund test case failed. It's saying cannot locate element with text as this. It's trying to find this, not able to find it. So these 2 were passed. This is failed. Now just tell me. Close the browser as well. Actually, you saw what was happening. Undefined was coming there. That was a defect. So your test case should fail. Getting it? Okay. Idea is simple. If your test case is failing, you need to check why it failed. Is it failed because of your test problems, or it is failed because of the application problem? If it's failing because of application problem, that means your test case has caught the defect. That's the purpose of your test script, to catch the defect. Now in the from and in the to, undefined values were coming. Because of whom? Application, not because of script. So it was a defect, which your test case failed, which is a true behavior. So you need to see why it failed, why defect is. So when defect comes, you can go and race through developer, tester, all these things you do. So your test is right, but your application has caused some problem. Okay. Excuse me. Got it? Okay, so we'll wind up for today. Try this much, and then we will see. Try at least this much. Then tomorrow we are going to extend this test case to 4 new pages, and we'll do some new things. What we learned today? We learned some XPath. We learned some how to select value from select. We learned page object model. We learned how to put validations. We learned how to structure the code. We learned some test ng annotations. Right? So 5 or 6 things we learned today. How to create dependencies and all. Try implementing this. Tomorrow we're going to extend this. Right? Okay? So I'm stopping the recording.